You ever walk out of a courtroom thinking to yourself, what just happened in there? You told the truth. You presented your evidence. You even stayed calm. But you feel like the judge just didn't get it. The judge might have even turned the tables on you, made you out to be the bad guy. If this is you, today's episode is for you. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Self-Represented in Family Court. So, here we discuss strategies. Yes, strategies and how to use them to get the results you want in family court. If you're self-represented, pro se, pro per, or if you have an attorney and you just need to know what it takes to get through this complex family court system we have, this is the place to be. We discuss strategy. We discuss tactics. We discuss tips and tricks. We discuss techniques. We discuss secrets. We discuss it all. Whatever it takes to get you the strategy that you need, that's it. That's here. That's what we do. So sit back, take notes, and kick ass.
Hi, I'm Tracey Bee, family court strategist and public law attorney, and I help self-represented litigants win their cases strategically, not emotionally, not practically, not by the law, using strategy. So today I want to talk to you about something I take very seriously, reframing. Yes, reframing. Reframing is something that I discuss with all of my clients and definitely my audience, anyone who will listen. You know why? Because sometimes it's a matter of seeing things differently to change the outcome. That's what reframing is. Reframing is just changing how you describe something, how you interpret something, even how you present your case. Because when you think of it differently, when you see it differently, you'll speak about it differently. And when you speak about it differently, you're more inclined to get the judge to actually not only listen, but believe what you're saying. And that's important, right? You don't want to go to court. I know you're tired of going to court thinking you have everything in order. You have the truth on your side. You have mouths of evidence. You even come across like the calm, rational, level-headed party. And still, the judge basically dismiss you, discredit you, basically, like I said, turn the table on you and think that you're the actual toxic or high conflict party in this action. Well, you know why? Well, there's several reasons, I'm sure, but it could be that you just presented, you spoke, you thought differently, incorrectly, just wrong. Yes, just wrong. I hate to sound harsh, but that's what it comes down to. Because some of you, a lot of you actually give me a lot of resistance about this. And I get it. You could be anywhere in the grief cycle. And you could be in, dealing with, trauma. And, you're emotional and you don't want to hear it. And you're defensive. And your nervous system is out of whack. So you're very, very super hypersensitive. I get it. But that doesn't negate the fact, the undeniable fact that you have to reframe what you're going through, what you want to get across to the court. Most of you who've been in family court for at least 6 months, definitely years, know by now that courts do not care about your emotion. They don't care about the pain, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse. They don't care about it. And it's wrong. I know. But you know what? I'm a strategist. I'm very practical. I'm very realistic. I don't idealize. I don't theorize. I deal with what it is. And what it is your job to go into court with a reframing of the facts, of the incident, of the exchanges, of what the encounters, whatever it is you want to get across to your judge. You have to reframe You have to reframe, and it starts with your thinking. You have to start there because you can't think, oh, I'm pissed, I'm angry, I'm I'm so hyped, I'm so on this warpath, I want to destroy, I want to get even, and go into court and come across as, yes, judge, I'm the reasonable one. I want to settle. I'm not being resistant. I'm not being difficult. I want peace. No, it doesn't work. It may work once, and if you're lucky, twice, but you're not going to get across, get over, fool, trick the judge in the end. Some people win battles by doing that, but there's an entire war in family court. Family court is war for most of you. You're listening to me, most of you have either heard the stories or lived it yourself, and you understand what I mean by that. If you have it, if you are low conflict, even mid-level conflict, then good for you. Doesn't mean reframing is not an issue for you. Because if you're dealing with custody, I don't know if you know, but if you've been listening to me, you should, that going to family court, your life being centered around the possibility of going to family court does not end till your youngest reaching the age of majority. Yes. So if you just finished with court, you finished a year ago, 2 years ago, and you still have kids in the house that are, you're dealing with co-parenting and they're under 9 or even 15, you still have a couple of years to go. That means, yes, the other party, the other parent can bring you back in those couple of years. Absolutely. So you are not immune. So back to reframing. Why is reframing necessary? Well, because family court, as I mentioned, does not care about your emotions. Did you hear me? Family court does not give a damn about your emotions. No. Nobody in family court cares about your emotions but you. Sorry. Maybe your lawyer, if you have one. But the key players, maybe your court reporter, maybe a spectator. But the judge, the attorneys, the guardian ad litem, nope, don't care. So you have to use logic. You have to understand that logic reigns supreme. That's what the court use. That's what the judges rely on. Logic. They're not going to give you more credence because you're the one speaking from emotion and what you're saying is full of emotion. There's no mindset. There's no reframing. There's no mental acuity you use to think about what you're saying. No, that's not appreciated, acknowledged, given a pass. No, it's not. Why is reframing important? Because your narrative sets the tone. The way you describe what's happening tells the judge who you are. Whether or not you're credible, whether or not you're the calm, reasonable party, whether or not your focus is really your kid's best interest or some underlying motives. And a lot of you think, a lot of people that I've come across think, and a lot of times they are stubborn, they're adamant about it, that what they think is best for their kid is what's going to matter in court. And I'm constantly, habitually, incessantly, perpetually telling people, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not your idea what's best for your children. It's not. Sorry, I'm a mom. I get it. But you know what? You're in family court now. Things change. The dynamics change. The angles have changed. The layers have changed. The levels have changed. It's changed. It's different. You may never go back to that thinking. Sorry. And the more resistant you are, the harder it's going to be for you and your children. Yeah. Hate to be the one to break it to you. But no, I do like to be the one to break it to you because that's what I do. I'm telling you the truth, the ugly truth. It's painful. I know. I get it. But it's the truth. Why is it important? Because reaction is easy. But your strategy is way more persuasive. It's way more persuasive. When you take the time to reframe, that means you're actually regaining control. You're using your mental ability, acuity, stamina to dictate, to allow your case to move in the way you want it to, as opposed to allowing emotions or reaction dictating, taking over the direction of your case. Reframing is important, not reaction. Professionals, they mirror your reframe. The guardian ad litem, the custody evaluators, opposing counsel, they will start to repeat your reframes because that's the language of family court. That's what actually gets things accomplished. That's what gets you the respect, the acknowledgement, the credit, the credibility you deserve. You're going in there, the courtroom full of professionals. I don't care what you think about, their level of professionalism. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today. I hear you. That's why I'm responding, because I hear you. No, you need to understand, you are the underdog. If you're pro se, you're the underdog. Even if you have an attorney and you're allowed to speak, maybe you're testifying. When you're testifying and you have an attorney and the attorney didn't actually role play with you, no one does that but me, or prepare you for getting your mind wrapped around reframing, then you still need to understand that when you're in that room, you are the underdog, because attorney or not, you're speaking from emotion or from out of reaction. You're the underdog. No one's taking you seriously. Keep that in mind. You want to you want to elevate yourself. You want to rise up to the level of everyone else. And I'm not insulting you. I'm not minimizing your presence. I'm talking about courtroom dynamic only. Outside of that courtroom, yes, you are a CEO. You're the head of your department. You're the overachiever. I hear you. But in the courtroom, sorry, you've been demoted. If you go in there speaking from emotion, out of reaction, without thinking, without reframing, you've been demoted. That's the reality. I'm not sugarcoating things. I'm just not a sugarcoater. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I want you to be prepared. Someone actually last week attacked me for me not sugarcoating things. And I get it. I guess I can soften my tone sometimes. But let me tell you this. Anybody you can find that knows me will tell you that I am not an ill will, malicious type of devious, diabolical devil. I'm just not that person. I am a tough love person, though. The love comes with some harsh, curt word, not intended to hurt you or to subvert the love, is to toughen you up to the reality of what you're going into. You're going into a courtroom that is designed to keep the dysfunction going, right? I'm not going to be soft and pretty and dainty. I'm not preparing you if I do that. That's just not my style, and it's never going to be my style. And no one's going to make me change. That's just who I am. So understand that. When I say these things, I'm not insulting you. I'm not minimizing your presence. I'm telling you the reality of family court, the dynamics, the structure, the process, the procedure. That's my job. That's my passion. That's my mission in life, is to prepare each and every one of you for the truth, for the reality. So, and I understand some of you are not in a position to receive it. I totally get it. But I'm not going to change because of that. come back later and listen where you are in the state. But right now, you need to hear the truth. You need to hear it raw. That's how I'm giving it to you. And actually, I could be a little bit more raw because I am a native New Yorker. And that's how we are. But you know what? I do keep in mind that I have to come with a little bit of compassion, just a tad bit. So, back to reframing. Reframing can really, really change the direction in your case. It can. Let's talk about the kind of frames that you guys tend to typically walk into court. You have the emotional frame. You say stuff like, this isn't fair. Can't believe this is happening. You know what you sound like? Yeah, the victim. Does family court like victims? Do they nurture victims? Do they console victims? Do they help victims, restore themselves to, that confident being you once were? Absolutely not. So don't give them that ammunition. Don't give it to the other party. Don't give it to the judge. Don't give it to the court process. Stop. The other frame. My ex lies about everything. Yeah, that's not cool. Don't accuse. Don't point fingers. Don't blame. Don't do that. Reframe it, please. Another frame. The defendant. I'm not the bad parent. I'm the good one. I. Don't do that either. That drives me crazy. That drives me crazy. And you know what? When people work with me, especially when they work with me for 12 weeks is that sweet spot. I kid you not. I've worked with a couple of people for 12 weeks. And by the end of the 12 weeks, they almost, not quite, but they almost mimicked me. They understood me more. And they almost mimicked me. I started listening to the way they were talking when they were explaining to me what happened in court and what they did and how they responded and reacted and blah, blah, blah. And they almost sound like me. And I'm like the proud mom. I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing. You know why? Because they become empowered and confident. And they don't play the victim anymore. And they don't need to blame anymore. They accept responsibility, accountability. They come up with a plan and they go into execution mode. That, my friend, is what I want for each of you. I'm sorry. I'm feeling really, really silly today. So let's do a few reframes. Can we do that? Sure. Okay. The judge doesn't care about the truth. We know that. I hear people say that over and over and over again. And you know what it says to me? It doesn't say to me, oh, I empathize with them because they finally get it. When they repeat it incessantly, what I think is that's a deflection. That's a cop-out. That's an excuse. That's an easy way. We all know that. We all know that the judge doesn't care about the truth. We know what the judge cares about. The judge cares about their version of the truth, what makes sense to them. So what does that mean? Okay, the judge, I have to tailor my truth for my judge. That's a reframe. I have to tailor my truth for my judge. See that reframe? The judge doesn't care about the truth. I need to tailor my truth, my story, to accommodate the way the judge is going to receive it. I need to tailor it to my judge. Let's try another one. She's turning the kids against me, or he's turning the kids against me. Let's try a reframe. You know what? Up until May 6th of 2021, the children and I had a really special bond. We would do this, and this. Now, since they've been spending X amount of time with their mom or their dad, now they don't want to spend time with me. They tell me this, that I'm spending time with me or doing things we used to do. They react this way. They say this. You see the difference? You see the reframe? That's a great reframe. That's what I get a lot. Here's another one. The court keeps ignoring my evidence. The court keeps ignoring my evidence. You know what? I need to figure out a way to pick the best evidence that's going to actually persuade my judge. I need to learn to pick the best evidence that I know is going to persuade my judge. You see that reframe? You see that reframe? Please tell me if you are getting this. If you want to practice, hey, reach out to me. We can do a 1-hour session and we could spend the entire hour doing some role playing or just some reframe. Just some reframe. If you're a quick learner, you'll get it. If it takes more than 1 hour, so be it. Just get an additional one. Oh, book a month. How about work with me for a full month where we meet every single week and we can work on those reframes. We can work on positioning. We can work on presenting. We can work on whatever you need. But I want you to understand that if you don't take time and focus on how family court is structured, understanding how to interact with family court, mastering the process and the procedures, you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to win. I try not to use win, but you're never going to reach your goal, accomplish your goals, get some sort of satisfaction, some peace throughout this process. And those are possible. They are peace, satisfaction, reaching goals, accomplishing, what you set out to accomplish. Those are all doable in family court. I promise you. I have testimonials to share. I promise you it's possible. You want a couple more? You said yes? Okay. My attorney didn't fight hard enough for me. Well, that might be true, but is that going to help you? Because if you go into court thinking that way and you say some language that the judge actually senses that's what you're thinking, that's how you're feeling, not going to end well. Judges and lawyers, yeah, they're buddies, they're friends, yes, we're cronies, we're all of that. And, even a worse lawyer, you'll be hard pressed to hear a judge insult a lawyer in front of you. It happens, but seldom. So let's do a reframe. I see what my lawyer missed or overlooked or didn't give attention to. So now I have to fix that. I have to go in and figure out a way to fix that. Again, Tracey Bee is your girl. That's also what I do. If you feel like there have been some things that have been overlooked, mishandled, minimized, dismissed, hey, come to me and let's talk about it. That's what strategy sessions are for. We can do it. You said one more? Okay, let me see if I can think of one more. The system is so unfair. The system is unfair. The family court process is unfair. It's broken. It's inconsistent. It's violative of all your rights. It's so many things. That's what today's episode is about, though. So, the system is unfair. Let's reframe that. The system has some flaws that, you know what I'm going to do? I still have to deal with it. I have to muddle through this. I have to figure it out. I have to work through it. I have to, because there's some really important people and things at stake here. You see what I just did? I just annihilated the blaming, the victimizing, or the victim identifying. There's a term, I forgot what the term is. And the lack of accountability. That's basically what I did. I just took all of those out of the equation. Accept responsibility, acknowledge your reality, and deal with it. That's it. It's that simple. If you keep those in mind, it's easy to reframe. You see how I summed it up? Can you do that? Can you do it on your own? Yeah, you can. But if you want some primers, if you want some help, I am your girl. So, the next time I talk to you, I want you to tell me about some reframing you've been doing. And if you highlight some of the one I specifically shared with you and how it worked out for you, I'll give you a special bonus. Yes, I will. I promise you. Just email me and let me know, Tracey@thedivorcesolutions.com or divorcecoachesq@gmail. I promise you I'll have something that you'll love. So anyway, that's what I have for you. If you want to set up a strategy session so that we can discuss reframing, we can discuss any of the bottlenecks, the challenges, the obstacles you're facing that you just can't seem to get past, and you've tried everything, I am that person. We will identify what those issues are, and we will come up with a strategy to get through them. I assure you. I promise you. I promising you. So I have strategy sessions for just about anything, any issue you want to discuss. If you want to do role playing, we can do that too. If you want to work with me for more than just an hour, you can choose 4 weeks, 12 weeks, or 24 weeks. Either way, we are going to create a strategy, we're going to work on strategy. We're going to get through the issues that are challenging you every day in your case. Yes, we will. But for now, that's all I have for you today. I hope this was helpful. Again, let me know if you've used any of those, if you've come up with your own. Let me know how it worked out for you. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.
We want to thank you for joining us here at Self-Representing in Family Court, where we discuss all things strategy in family court. Join us next time. Until then, visit us at www.thedivorcesolutionist.com.